and a disk are initially at rest side by side at the top of an inclined plane which makes an angle 60 degrees with the horizontal. They start to roll without slipping at the same instant of time along the shortest path. The time difference between the reaching the ground is 2 minus root 3 divided by root 10 seconds. Then the height of the top of the inclined plane in meters is. Okay, so this is our question. So in our question there is an inclined plane and the inclined plane makes an angle theta equal to 60 degrees with the horizontal. We have to find the height of the inclined plane, and on the top of the inclined plane there is a disk as well as a ring. A disk and a ring is there. Okay, so the time difference of them reaching the ground is given by delta t is equal to 2 minus root 3 divided by root 10 seconds. Okay, so there is a disk and a ring. So which one of them reaches the first? So moment of inertia of disk is given by mr square divided by 2, and the moment of inertia of ring is given by mr square. So of course the disk reaches faster since its moment of inertia is lower. The moment of inertia is analogous to mass, so the disk reaches faster. Okay, so let t2 be the time taken by the ring to reach the ground. Okay, and let t1 be the time taken by the disk to reach the ground. So we can write this equation as t2 minus t1 is equal to 2 minus root 3 divided by root 10. Okay, you cannot take t1 minus t2 because the right hand side is a positive quantity. 2 minus root 3 is a positive quantity, so the left hand side should be also be positive. That's why we need to know which one of them takes the longer time. So the ring takes a longer time, so this will be t2 minus t1. Okay, so you can just equate the t2 and t1 here. Okay, so the t2 will be directly we can get t2 is equal to 2 by root 10, and time taken by the t1 is ring. Yeah, no, t1 is the disk, so time taken by the disk is root 3 by root 10. Okay, so we have got the time taken by both the bodies to reach the ground. Now we have to find how to find the height h of the inclined plane. Okay, so for that we need to denote mark all the forces associated here. So first of all there is the weight mg acting downwards. Okay, and if you resolve this weight we get mg sin theta and mg cos theta. Also there is frictional force acting along the surface. Okay, frictional force Fs. Okay, now it is said that they start to roll without slipping, so it's a rolling motion, so there is a torque associated with it, torque. So which of the force actually gives a torque here? We know torque is given by r cross f, so that is rf sin theta. This mg sin theta force doesn't give a torque since the radius vector and the force is in the same direction, so this is actually theta is 0, so the torque is 0. The torque is actually provided by the frictional force Fs, because the radius r vector and the frictional force Fs vector, the angle between them is 90 degrees, so the torque is given by r into Fs sin 90. Sin 90 is 1, so torque is given by r into Fs. Okay, and we know that torque is given by I alpha. Torque is given by I alpha. Okay, so we can get Rfs is equal to I into alpha. Okay, also we know that A is equal to R alpha. Linear acceleration is equal to radius times angular acceleration, and alpha is equal to A by R. So substituting alpha in this equation, we will get, and we can write moment of inertia I as generally as m into k square. Okay, k is the radius of gyration, so m k square into A by R. Okay, so that is our torque, and this will be Rfs. So we can write Fs as mk square into A divided by R square. Okay, That's our frictional force, mk square into a divided by r square. We can also write it as ma into k square divided by r square. Now we can write using our Newton's second law, the total force along this direction is given by mg sin theta is acting downwards. We have taken that direction to be positive. So mg sin theta minus fs is equal to m into a. Acceleration is the acceleration of the bodies. Okay, so this comes from the Newton's second law. Okay, the force acting along this direction is fs opposite to the direction of mg sin theta. So the body is rolling downwards. So mg sin theta minus fs is given by ma, mass times acceleration. So we have to just substitute it and find the acceleration. So this will be mg sin theta minus ma k square divided by r square is equal to ma. Can cancel the m's. Okay, and we can take this term to this side. So this will be a into 1 plus k square divided by r square is equal to g sin theta, or we can write a is equal to g sin theta divided by 1 plus k square divided by r square. Okay, now we have to find separately what is the acceleration of the disk as well as the ring. Okay, so first we can find the acceleration of the ring. So a2 is the acceleration of the ring. a2 is given by g sin theta divided by 1 plus what is k square in the case of a ring. So ring k square is r square. So this will be 1 plus r square divided by r square. So this will be 1 plus 1, that is 2. So this will be g sin theta divided by 2. And what is a1? a1 is g sin theta divided by 1 plus k square divided by r square. So k square in the case of a disk, k square in the case of a disk is r square divided by 2. So r square divided by 2 divided by r square. So this will be g sin theta divided by 1 plus 1 by 2, that is 3 by 2. Taking the reciprocal, this will be 2 by 3 g sin theta. Now we got the acceleration of both the bodies. We got the time, we got the acceleration. Now we can find the velocity. So using the first equation of motion, that is v is equal to u plus at, we will get velocity of the first body. First body, I think it's the ring, disk. Okay, disk. v1 is given by, initial velocity is 0 for both the bodies. So v1 is given by a1 into t1, or you can write this is equal to 2 by 3 g sin theta into t1. We have already found out t1. t1 is root 3 divided by root 10. Okay, now just substitute the values. 2 by 3 into g is 10, sin 60 is root 3 by 2 into root 3 divided by root 10. Okay, so 3 and root 3 get cancelled, 2 and 2 get cancelled. Now 10 divided by root 10, so this v1 will be root 10 meter per seconds. Okay, so we have got v1. Now we have to find, our aim is to find the height h. So using the third equation of motion, that is v square is equal to u square plus 2as, we can find the height h. Okay, so this s is the distance covered by the inclined plane. Okay, this is the s distance. Okay, so we can write h is equal to s sin theta. If you resolve the s into 2, this will be s cos theta, and this height will be s sin theta. So this height is given by s sin theta. So we have to substitute that here. So our final velocity of the first body, that is v1 square is equal to, initial velocity is 0 plus 2a1 into s is given by h divided by sin theta. H divided by sin theta. Okay, so this will be 2 into what is a1? a1 we have found out a1. a1 is 2 by 3 g sin theta. 2 by 3 g sin theta into h divided by sine theta. So you can cancel the sine theta. Okay, so this will be 4 by 3 into 10 into h. Okay, so v1 square, we already we have found out v1 as root 10, so v1 square will be 10. So 10 is equal to 4 by 3 into 10 into h. So you can cancel the 10s, or you will get h is equal to 3 divided by 4. 3 by 4 is 0.75 meters. So that's your final answer. So this is a lengthy question, but it's a very good question. Try practicing it. Thank you. So the height is 0.75 meters.